Hello, iHeart listener. We have a confession to make. Both iHeart and this commercial you're listening to right now would probably sound a heck of a lot better on the new Roku Pro Series TV. It's got side-firing speakers that fill your room with sound, Dolby Atmos audio that puts you right in the middle of the entertainment, and the ability to pair seamlessly with your home theater sound systems that already have surround sound and booming bass. If all that sounds too good to be true, it'll sound even better on the new Roku Pro Series. Your hearing isn't better, your TV is.
There's an efficient way to get caught up on a lot of news. It's called The Seven from The Washington Post. It's a newsletter and podcast. Whether you're reading or hit play, you get 7 stories you need to know, and you can consume it all in just a few minutes. The Seven is out every weekday morning by 7 a.m. Eastern. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'm one of the writers, and I host the show. Find The Seven podcast wherever you're listening. The newsletter link is waiting for you in the show notes.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
We want to get into school scandals. Like, what did your teacher or your professor do to put your school on the map, but maybe not in the best way? So if you have a story, call us at 877-937-1047. We're going to do it after Sabrina Carpenter. 1047 KISS FM. It's John, Jane, Rich. Susie, good morning. Thanks for holding. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, yes. So I know you love doing those crazy, scandalous topic stories. So I have got the best one for you. It's a really good one. So
all right, you said, wait. You said we like to do scandalous topic stories. I mean, we like to do whatever's going on in your world. If somebody suggests something, we like to roll with it. If it happens to be scandalous, great. We also like to take cake recipes.
Yeah, we do a lot of those.
Yeah, so I mean, so go ahead, Susie. What is your scandalous story?
Okay, my scandalous story is that one time when I was in college, on the very first day, it was like my biology class, my professor, we're all waiting for him, right? So he walks in, and then he like puts down all of this stuff, and he's like very serious. He looks at us, and he's like, okay, guys, before we get started, I have to tell you something. So we're all just curious, but he's just like, years ago, I did gay porn movie. The whole class was like dead silent, and he goes into explanation and like, okay, well, I just wanted to just put it out there just in case if anyone found out so that it wouldn't turn into like such a big scandal. Like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I was just trying to get through my syllabus class. But that really got me thinking like, okay, there has to be more teacher scandals out there, right? Like, I need to know this.
Why?
What was he thinking? Because everyone went home and Googled it.
Yeah.
It's like he could have gone with nobody learning it the whole semester. I mean, I get trying to get ahead of a scandal, but then also it's kind of like...
I feel like maybe he wanted them to go see it so he could get more clicks on his OnlyFans.
Did you find out the name of the movie? Was it You Got Mail? Was it Goodwill Humping?
Bye, Joshua.
You are so inappropriate.
I didn't necessarily have like a super scandal. I mean, there was one scandal in high school with this teacher. He was our Spanish teacher. Such a cool guy. Like, he was so chill. Like, he was the teacher that would like give you the passes just so you could walk around and not have to be in class, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, he like started showing up to like school like so disheveled and like so like, I don't know, like he wasn't himself. Long story short, he ended up getting fired, but it came down that he was like going and losing his mind because he was going through a divorce because his wife left him for a woman. We were like, it was crazy.
Oh, I had a couple. I think I've shared it before. Like, I found out that my 8th grade like student government teacher, she actually ended up going and moving up into the administration and being in top administration in the school. And I guess she was like embezzling money from the school.
That's fake.
That was one. And then my sisters had a science teacher in 7th grade or 6th grade. And we come to find out later he like ran away with a 12-year-old, one of his students. I know. I know. It was like a whole big thing, too.
That's scandalous.
Yeah.
My grade school made the news. I went to a Catholic grade school, St. Sabina. You could probably look it up if you want. In beautiful Florissant, Missouri. In the school shut down because the head priest got caught using some of the students to sell drugs to other kids in the neighborhood.
That's terrible.
It was a very big scandal.
See, you're giving us lots of information and saying you could look it up. Susie's professor's like, I was in a gay porn, just so you don't go look it up. Like,
You're going to go look it up.
yeah, give us like, how do you look it up? Like, did you guys ever find it, Susie?
We didn't. It was kind of just like really, like I said, it was just so scandalous. I don't know. I didn't.
Was it everyone I did last summer?
What else could it be?
I'm sure Susie also didn't want to see her teacher in that.
E.T., the extra testicles?
What the heck?
What about Bitanic? Was it Bitanic? No? 40 gays and 40 nights?
Okay, all right. Okay. No, none of the above. She doesn't know.
Was it King Dong?
We're done.
I wonder what the movie could have been called.
Robin Hood?
Oh, my gosh. Stop.
I've never used the cuss button so much on one of us.
No, okay. Well, Susie, it's a great subject to get into is scandalous teacher-professor stories, right? Was it Ocean's 11 Inches?
Oh, my gosh.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
I thought we were done.
I mean,
We're never going to be
if I
done.
look it up.
No, I don't think it would. I would probably look it up too, but I don't know if I would also want to see
But
that.
then
I'd
it's
be
like,
scarred
you know,
for life.
he's probably not using his real name.
Yeah.
So it could be kind of hard to find.
Well, also, though, like, facial recognition is a thing nowadays. Like, you could have just taken a picture of that professor, thrown it on Google or the dark web. I don't know
Reverse
where you
search.
find that and reverse search it.
But then do you really want to see your
No,
professor?
you
No,
know.
I mean, you
you
probably
know,
do.
you know.
Probably not.
Was it Gulp Fiction?
Again.
No?
So you think he had other classes that same day? Just announce it to all the classes. Before we get started, I know you all know that I did porn.
Right, did he
Just
say
like-
his name first?
Yeah. Every class got the same speech.
Susie, let's do it. Let's get into it. 877-937-1047. Want to hear about your professor. I think a professor-teacher scandal. All right. Thank you, Susie. Johnny and Rich. Susie called up and said, you guys should get into teacher or professor scandals. And Lene, you have one.
Yeah, I wanted to call in. So I'm a senior, and after 3 years of college, I swear my school has the craziest professors out there. So I just wanted to share a couple of stories, if it's okay. It's kind of crazy, but...
Okay.
Okay, so freshman year, we had a professor, and they caught him stealing, students' essays. And he was basically trying to, publish them, as his own work, into, journals and stuff. You know what I mean? Copying the undergrad.
I wonder how he thought that wasn't going to come back.
I thought, how did he get that job? But then he probably stole from other people.
So yeah. Okay, so, I have a million, so I'm just going to, think of what I can remember. There was another one, it was a philosophy professor, and he, halfway through the semester, he just disappeared, no warning, no email, no nothing. He was just gone. And, the rumor was that, maybe he joined, a cult or a commune or something. I don't know. So, we had to, have somebody else come in and finish so we get our grades and stuff. But it was crazy because it's one day he was there and the next day he was gone.
That's kind of an interesting thing. Hi, I'm the sub. Your teacher has joined a cult.
I know.
So let's continue to talk about syllabus.
Okay, there's another one, sophomore, that was even wilder. And actually, this professor for sure got fired, I know. And she was basically charging students extra, or money for extra credit. So you could let's say you send her $50 cash app, you could bump your grade up. You can pass the class. So, which I probably wouldn't mind so much. I probably wouldn't have said anything, but somebody ratted her out.
It's probably kind of a life lesson because I feel a lot of people actually do that in real life.
Exactly.
Real world.
Your college is like a soap opera.
Yeah.
No, it is. Okay, there was another one. There was a teacher who was doing ASMR videos and stuff. He had a whole YouTube, which probably wasn't smart, but it wasn't bad that he had the ASMR channel because it wasn't sexual or anything, but it was just that he was using the school's equipment and doing it during school hours. And it was seductive talking, you know what I mean? So the school
You're taking a test and all you hear is, yes.
Yeah.
Gross.
And he was actually kind of weird too. So everyone's like, "Oh, it makes sense that he would be into that." There was another year. No, this one was crazy to me. There was a chemistry teacher, and apparently, like after hours, like him and some, I don't know if it was some of the other teachers or who exactly it was, but he was running like an illegal like gambling ring, like out of the department room, like the break room. Basically, like betting on the students' grades, like a Hunger Game type of deal.
Wow, him and his friends.
Your school is so messed up.
Well, can't they control the students' grades? You could like really hedge your bets in your favor.
No,
you could, because then you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna add this to the students' grades or whatever.
Yeah. See how tough that would be if you're both getting money for the Cash App to bump the grade, but you're betting against the student to get a C.
And that's how you get in deep right
Well, you know what's funny about it is like when you think about these kind of teachers that were probably like, I mean, I have a friend of mine that I grew up with that was just a whack job, and he's a history teacher now. And I can't believe that guy's a teacher. Do you know what I mean? Like everything you just said, he could do.
I actually heard that some of the biology teachers are even worse. So
yeah.
But no. So then, okay. So let me tell you. I have one more. So there was a professor. There was a professor who he was an English teacher, and he would basically like have these crazy meltdowns, like in the class, like after he would get like a review about his book, and he would just rant like the whole class, like about his review and go crazy, like he wouldn't even teach the class. So that one was kind of crazy too, because like, you would just be in there and you wouldn't learn anything, and then he'd give you a test, and it's like, oh, you've been ranting the whole day about your book, so.
Let me tell you,
he has some crazy professors.
The weirdest teacher I ever had, and it doesn't compare to any of these stories, and it sticks with me to this day. I was in 11th grade, and his name was Mr. Doty, D-O-T-Y. He starts school, and he tells us two things. My ancestors were on the Mayflower. He said you can look it up, which now you Google it. I have Googled it so many times when I'm bored, and sure enough, there's a Doty on the Mayflower.
That's trippy.
And he lives in a house with 7 doors. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but now every time my house when I'm bored, I try to count my doors, and I feel like the amount of the doors you have is a success because of Mr. Doty.
I live in a house with 7 doors.
I have a house with 7 doors, unless of course she was somehow related to Snow White, and I misunderstood.
Oh my goodness, John Jay, I do not know why that story just like relaunched another teacher scandal that I cannot believe I did not think about, and you can literally look this up. So I went to Santan Junior High in Chandler, Arizona. You guys might remember this. I don't know. I want to say it was like 2010, 2011, or 2012, somewhere in there. My English teacher, her name was Miss Garcia, and for some reason, we didn't like Miss Garcia. She always got mad at us when we would chew gum in class. We just wanted to chew gum, and she always used to wear these huge high heels, and she always had a full face beat, but everybody did not like her. So when we were at school, apparently in my English class, literally there was 5 kids in my English class. They wrote 10 ways to kill Miss Garcia on a paper.
Oh my God.
On a paper. And then this other girl who also sat with them, who they weren't letting see the paper, waited when we all went to lunch, went into their backpack, took the paper, showed the teacher. The police got called. These kids got arrested on campus. You can literally go look it up. Santan Junior High death threat.
You know, you could also look up Edward Doty. He was on the Mayflower.
No, did you just do it again? Did you think that manifest had changed over the years?
I can't believe I forgot about that. That was so wild.
You know, I should have known that Grant was going to participate in this.
I've gone to college twice, and about 10 years apart. And dude, the difference, the first time versus the second time, I had a summer course, so it was 3 hours a day, 4 days a week, and it was it was a upper divisional history about the first 16 presidents exclusively for 3 months. That's all it was. And the guy who taught the class had a syndrome called Mobius syndrome, where half of his face was paralyzed. And he would talk like this the whole class. And he the first day it was jarring, but he also knew that it was hard to listen to. But he had fun with it. There was one day we were all in the cafeteria area, and he just came out of the cafeteria in front of everybody and just came out and so loud was there's something wrong with the chicken. It caused his problem, and he panicked.
That was his bit.
It was, so everybody was like, "Don't eat the chicken, dude. Don't eat the chicken."
Is the chicken the scandal?
What?
Is the chicken the
He
scandal?
calls
No,
the
dude,
scandal.
he just was like, I just wanted to give a shout out. I don't even remember his name, but he
So
was a great
Grant was
professor.
he just remembered his professor. And
Yeah,
you
dude,
wanted
he was
to
a
talk
sweet boy.
about it.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So,
I've never heard of Mobius syndrome.
Mobius syndrome.
Oh, Mobius.
I got it.
Thank you, Gannon.
Well, anyway, you guys have a good day. I'll formally submit my resignation. This actually was my formal resignation. Yeah.
Hey, Lene, thank you for sharing those stories with us.
Yeah, I have one more semester left, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah, one more semester left. Okay, good. I was say I have one more. I was like, oh my God.
So I'll call back if something pops off.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
bye.
Must have on the beat, ho. John, Jay, and Rich.
Anna, thanks for holding. You got a teacher scandal?
Hey, Jojo.
Hey, what happened?
I do. So this is not one that happened to me, but it's one that I grew up hearing from my dad. So when he met my mom, she was going to a Catholic school, and he was at a local public school. And so one night, him and a couple of his buddies allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly so he doesn't get in trouble, they greased up some pigs and they let them loose inside the school. And everyone blamed the football team at the private school, but it was people from a local community.
That is epic.
Public school.
Wait, is that a teacher? Are the teachers
No,
involved
my dad. Well, how did they get onto the campus?
I think she's just calling it a school scandal.
Oh.
That's fair. I mean, that's
It's
a
a prank,
scandal.
basically.
Yeah.
A prank gone wrong if the wrong guy's got in trouble.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Anna.
You're welcome.
877-937-1047. Scandals. Teacher scandals. Kelly, thanks for holding.
So in high school, my keyboarding teacher, I think it was my junior year, maybe earlier, maybe sophomore year. My keyboarding teacher was a very young new teacher, was sleeping with one of the students. The school found out about it, of course, and said, stop seeing the student. What are you doing? And he was not cute, so that was also very weird. Anyway, he wouldn't stop seeing the student. They kept dating. I think they actually went on to get married. However, I never learned how to keyboard. Type. I can't.
So he's a terrible teacher.
He's not even teaching what he's supposed to. That's the scandal.
I literally work, on a computer today, like I have for years. I still hunt and peck. It's so
Really?
awful. Yes. What am I supposed to do? Go back and take keyboarding again?
I mean, that might help you.
Someone different who's not hooking up with a student. Yeah.
I don't know. I never learned. I don't know how everyone else learned. And yeah.
Well, thank you,
I
Kelly.
don't know. Maybe I should.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Have a
Melissa, good morning. You got a school scandal?
Yes.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily a school scandal, but a student of ours was kind of out there. We had a guy named Ryan, and he was a baseball player, really popular in school. And after school, obviously he didn't do good in baseball, so he was working at the car wash. He ended up killing his girlfriend, putting her under his mattress, sleeping on her for a couple of days. And then he drove to Mexico, and on the way there, he got pulled over because his taillight was out, and then they found him.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. That's
Yeah, and I went to a high school dance with him, you guys.
Oh, no.
So my mom was like, oh, my God, dodge a bullet. Talk about it.
Wow.
It was so crazy.
That's so scary.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
Melissa. Thank you.
Yeah. Buckle up, girls.
Crazy. Anyway, if you have any other ones, shoot us a call, 877-937-1047 or DM John J. Van Ness.
Hello, iHeart listener. We have a confession to make. Both iHeart and this commercial you're listening to right now would probably sound a heck of a lot better on the new Roku Pro Series TV. It's got side-firing speakers that fill your room with sound, Dolby Atmos audio that puts you right in the middle of the entertainment, and the ability to pair seamlessly with your home theater sound systems that already have surround sound and booming bass. If all that sounds too good to be true, it'll sound even better on the new Roku Pro Series. Your hearing isn't better, your TV is.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ekowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.